What's up, guys? Highly Caffeinated Movies coming at you with another Hidden Gems episode. This week, all action movies, all Amazon. Trying to stick again with a route less depressing.
Did
This
not
week,
go out very well.
it was depressing in a different way, not feel bad when you watch it. We tried to stick to 80s and 90s action movies this week. This week, we are spotlighting our favorite local coffee shop, Rev Coffee Roasters. We are drinking Rev. What are we drinking?
This is a Brazilian bean this time. Brazilian, I'm going to not pronounce that correct at all.
Cerrado? Okay. This week, we are drinking the Rev Brazilian Cerrado Roast. It has notes of nuts and creamy dark chocolate. It is a very smooth, bold, and delicious cup of joe. Yeah. I'm already on my second cup. Definitely keeping the highly caffeinated crew highly caffeinated. Please check them out at revcoffeeroasters.com or any of their local spots in Baton Rouge or Lafayette. Now we can get into our last pick this week, Lewis's pick, Nemesis.
Nemesis, 1992. Had about 4,600 reviews. But is it a gem? It was hidden,
No.
But is it a gem?
No.
It's about a burned out Los Angeles cyborg cop. At the beginning of the movie, he's only a little bit cyborg. He's got, like, his leg is all machine. Right. But he's mostly human at the time. The movie is about people who don't like cyborgs. They think they're becoming less and less human and they shouldn't be running things. But a lot of cops and things are cyborgs at this point. And so the pure humans are kind of fighting against that this whole movie.
Pure humans and half humans, I guess.
Yeah. So he
Semi-cyborg?
He opens up chasing these terrorists, as the cops are calling them, but they're really just people who don't want cyborgs around. So he's chasing these terrorists, or getting chased by the terrorists after he takes out one of them. And a fight scene ensues. He gets exploded. Yeah. Then he becomes a full cyborg.
They rebuild him.
They rebuild him from the ground up at that point. And he's asked to...
What's wrong, boy?
This is putting me to sleep just hearing about it.
So he's forced to do a job. He basically retired at this point, but they bring him back to do a job. And the job's a big setup and all this.
Right.
All this shenanigans. So he has to pick sides in the movie. And that's how the movie goes down.
Yeah, I guess the police bring him back to life after the beginning fight scene. And they tell him they brought him back to life. They made him a complete cyborg. He can either help them by going to, I guess, an ex-lover. Jared is her name. It's a girl's name in this.
But I was confused for the first half of the movie because I was like, why?
They pulled the old Escape from
New York.
Was he
gay? Like, I don't get it.
they escaped from New York him. They put a bomb in his, I guess, cyborg heart or regular heart.
Just near his chest. Just in his chest.
They didn't have that.
That was going to detonate in 3 days, and they said, you need to track her down and get, I guess, some information from her for us to, basically she's got information she's given to some gang.
She defected. She is a cyborg, and she defected from their boss.
Their goal, or whatever they're trying to do.
She defected, and they want her dead for it.
And that's the movie.
It gets a little complicated in that, but I'm not going to sit here and talk through the whole plot.
I will say that I thought this movie was shot very well for being low budget. It had a lot of cool locations. I don't know where
Hawaii. They were in Hawaii for a good bit. There was some very pretty locations. They really enjoyed jumping off of waterfalls.
Yes, I thought that was just add a little production. It added a little
3 in a row.
Yeah. They had the waterfall guy on staff.
The waterfall guy. I think what's his name? The actor just really enjoyed it, so that he just kept jumping off waterfalls.
You don't think it was a stunt double?
I don't know. Maybe it was. I mean, look at him. It's not like he had a career. He could have been doing stunts.
Oliver Gruner.
Look, if you give me $1,200 more, I'll do the stunts. It's fine.
He said that his dad was a very well respected surgeon in France.
God, he's got to be disappointed.
It's disappointing. You make this shit. I pay for you to go to film school, and you come back with this.
You come with this shit.
I will say the cinematography. I will give this movie for being a low budget. I enjoyed the camera work in this, especially the first scene. I thought was really good. Stuff, yeah. The first scene is the best part of the movie. The action scene where he's running from the quote unquote terrorists,
the human
and
terrorists.
Their gun battle is going back and forth. That to me was the best scene in this movie, and it kind of sets your expectations high, and then it just drops them from there. I thought the gunfight and the locations were really cool. Thomas Jane. I guess one of his first movies.
Yeah, very early Thomas Jane.
And you get to see his ham.
Yeah.
Pressed ham.
Pressed ham.
It's only pressed ham if you do it up against a windshield or a mirror. Or, you got to do it up against a window.
You got to press it against something. Yeah. But he's in this. He's in it for like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's not much, but yeah, this was very early in his career.
Tom Matthews of Friday the 13th, Part 6, and Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. Fame is in this for a very small portion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are.
I like Tom Matthews.
Jackie Earle Haley is in this at some point, who's been in tons and tons and tons of movies. This is obviously his probably worst movie he's ever made. And that's saying a lot because he did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. So.
I don't know how to say this guy's name, but he played
Tim Thomas,
Mortal Kombat, Planet of the Apes, Tekken, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, he's been around a while.
Hiroyuki
I like
Tagawa.
That. It was weird to me though. He was supposed to be like a Hawaiian guy. You could have got a Hawaiian guy. You didn't have to get a Japanese actor. Like I'm pretty sure you could have found a Hawaiian guy. But it's not like you needed great acting chops to be in this movie. It didn't make sense. They just he just got like this crazy tan and pretended to be Hawaiian for the movie. I'm assuming that's what they were going for because it was in Hawaii. It was filmed in Hawaii. They're all wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Maybe it was one of Albert Pune's friends.
Albert Pune. Yeah, they're good friends.
The director of this is Albert Pune.
He's got a hard-on for cyborgs.
He enjoys, cyborg related.
It's all he's ever done. He clearly wasn't smart enough to go into actually building cyborgs, but so he just figured I'm just going to make movies my entire life on cyborgs.
He's done some other stuff that wasn't.
Sure, yeah. He did Cyborg with Van Damme.
He also did
Nemesis 17.
Yes.
They have a crap ton of sequels for this. Of the 3 movies this week, this one has the most sequels, which is baffling to me. It just doesn't make any sense.
Telling you, man, they were on drugs in the 80s.
This was the 90s.
Yeah, at the end.
A lot of cocaine.
They're still the same people.
Yes.
They still.
He did the Captain America movie in 1990.
Oh yeah. Poor guy.
That was a rough one.
That was a disaster.
He did Doll Man, which was
I don't know what that is.
It was by Full Moon Pictures. They did a bunch of straight to video movies back in the.
Sounds awful.
Where the.
Like, it sounds like a movie you could have bought used on VHS for like $0.25. And like at a store, not like at a garage.
It's kind of cool though because the movie Doll Man it's about like a police officer and he lands on Earth, but whatever planet he's from, it's sized differently. It's much smaller. So when he arrives at Earth, he's only 12 inches tall.
What?
Yeah, Doll Man, like a doll.
That sounds crazy.
It's kind of like a action movie with Woody from Toy Story. Almost.
That sounds like one of those like when we purposely do an episode of bad movies. That sounds like a good one.
And the main
this episode we didn't purposely pick bad movies.
We just
picked bad movies.
So the police guy in this one that's trying to get, I guess Oliver Gruner's character.
Dollman already sounds better than
this movie.
I'm sold on Dollman.
We'll have to watch that. That'll be my pick for next week.
I'm pretty sure it's not streaming anywhere.
No, it's not. Well, I think Full Moon Pictures has their own streaming service, of course.
So it's not streaming anywhere. I'm pretty sure that domain's been shut down.
Before we get into any more of this one, does anybody want to say anything else about like the crew or the?
I like this guy's name, Tim Thomerson.
I will say, Tim Thomerson. He's actually the main guy in Doll Man. He's he plays Farnsworth in this, the cop, the main cop.
Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Every time I just think of Futurama when I hear Farnsworth.
Well, that didn't make you like this movie?
No.
We have to talk about the acting.
Do we?
And how there was none of it.
Do we have to? I guess. Okay.
Politan, you better use it. Give me an excuse. How's that one?
Yeah, the acting was.
The acting was atrocious. The main guy barely. I don't know if he's from France. He's a French.
Kind of like a Jean-Claude.
They were trying to. He's the next Van Damme.
He's a poor man's Van Damme.
Yeah.
That's just insulting. Like that's way. Well, that's too much of a compliment.
I feel like he delivered his lines like he didn't know English. He was just regurgitating
somebody was right there.
Phonetically, he was just
somebody
repeating.
Somebody was right there behind the camera, and he was just repeating everything they said.
So,
it was terrible.
And he was the lead, so he kind of.
You can't have the lead be that bad.
The people around him, I would understand.
Like I said, the dog was the best actor in this entire movie.
You could almost make excuses for it because they're robots. So would they be?
They don't care about
stiff.
Yeah.
Would they deliver stiff dialogue and all that?
I just don't like watching movies with like. There was a movie with Mads Mikkelsen, I want to say, that was on Netflix, and within like the first 10 minutes, he just like startles himself awake and accidentally shoots his little puppy, and I turned it off. I was like, I can't watch this. Can't do it. Nope. That wasn't even necessary. I don't like watching dogs die in movies.
Just cats.
That's why I don't like watching dog
when
movies.
You accidentally shoot a cat.
Like in Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah.
You tell me that cat's name and I'll blow my brains out right here. What color was it?
Red?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I hadn't seen that in years.
So, I mean, the acting to me was the worst part of this. They obviously got whoever they could to put in this movie, even though they had big name actors in supporting roles.
Yeah, they had people that went on to like decent careers.
Tim Thomerson, Tom Matthews. These are people that have acting chops.
It wasn't a career killer.
It wasn't. Obviously, it spawned 5 sequels. So
yeah, that just doesn't. I just don't get that at all.
Yeah, they needed.
They're still making these somehow.
If they had a better lead actor, which I don't think he returned for any of the other ones.
I hope not.
I think that would have elevated this movie.
Tom Jane should have been the lead.
A good bit. I don't know. That sucks.
Yeah, he should have just been Tom Jane.
And the other guys, they should have just swapped roles, and this would have been pretty good, in my opinion. I know you probably would feel differently, but
it might. It might be a little better.
But the story was kind of loose, and then the ends, it got boring towards the end, and it just didn't stop making sense.
I was just waiting for this movie to end.
But you should have enjoyed Thomas Jane being mostly
a little dong action.
Yeah, what would you say was a little flash dong for Corey?
Glimmer of
dong for you.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that we have one movie every week.
Male and female nudity in this one. So.
Yes.
I didn't have a problem with the story itself. Yes, acting was bad, and that might have thrown you off.
I didn't mind.
Of course you didn't.
It just to me that the whole ending was the scene at the end. The first action scene was really good, and then the middle kind of was okay. And then
I just can't remember the last time I was watching a movie and like 45 minutes in, I'm just like, God, will this end?
They threw more and more poor early 90s CGI in at the end, and it messed things up. But the story itself, I think, was working.
That was the best part.
Like you said, the action scene was bad, but it was the right ending, I think.
Well, Tim Thomerson, Farnsworth in the movie is shooting a gun and things are just exploding, and I was just like, he's shooting a gun at them and their explosions are going off, and I was like, there's no what gun is that? A futuristic gun that explodes?
The future of 2008, man.
It just that kind of killed it for me, and but
terrible.
They did have some good one-liners in it. Guys meet him in his hotel room, and they go. They're trying to, I guess, get information out of him. And he tells them to leave him alone, and they rough him up a little bit. And then he said, "I guess leave me alone means something different here." I thought that was kind of good. I thought that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Corey don't have a sense of humor.
There was some good one-liners throughout this, but overall,
no. Acting probably killed it for me. But
acting, plot, dialogue.
But I didn't have a problem with the plot. Just because you couldn't follow it doesn't make it a bad plot.
The best part of this movie was the terrible CGI.
Yeah, that like I was saying,
it was hilarious.
I don't think
that was funny.
I don't think the ending was bad. I think that the way it was made was bad. The CGI. But it also kind of made me laugh, the way that little robot was walking around.
That little robot was so bad and funny.
Okay, so next episode, we're going to team up for the next few episodes. We're each going to pick a Rampage sequel and a Nemesis sequel.
Well, podcast was good. Viewership's going to go down real. Nobody's going to listen. They don't even recommend movies they want to watch.
The only reason people are listening to this podcast because of the way you two go at each other anyway.
Yeah, good at that.
Get them all hopped up on caffeine and make fun of each other.
That's what we do.
See, I guess we'll we need to rate this one. I'm going to rate this one I'm going to give it a C+. C+. Come back, Corey. Come back. C+.
Actually, I was going to rate it one higher than you, but I don't think I can go that far. I thought you were going to give it like a C, and I was like, I can do C+ if you go C. Just because some of the things you complained about, I didn't complain about.
I'm going to tell you why. The cinematography is there. The first action scene was good. They could have, if they would have done more of what they did in the first 10 minutes throughout the rest of the movie and didn't phone in that last action scene / chase, I really would have liked this. They had good supporting cast. They need to replace the main actor with somebody who can act.
A blow-up doll.
Just anybody.
Anyone.
Someone who speaks English.
You barely even have to have a pulse to be better.
You could have replaced him with people in the same movie.
Like, there could have been a guy in a coma that would have done better acting.
But again, could this be because he was a cyborg? He was trying to overdo the...
You're thinking
not human.
Yeah, it's not that. I thought that too, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But I thought if, again, you like movies of this era and you just want a stupid sci-fi action movie to watch.
If you like really bad movies, this is it.
I don't feel that way, Corey. Okay. I'm entitled to my opinion.
You are.
But no, it's not a great movie by any means. I think if you like stupid 80s, 90s action movies that you would appreciate this. It does have a lot of flaws, but I don't think it's awful. And I think it's somewhat of a hidden gem. Maybe not a gem, a hidden...
I will watch Evolution 15 times in a row before I watch this movie.
So that's my take on this.
But we know you're going to go back and turn this movie on and fast forward to that scene that you missed out on.
I'm sure that's on like YouTube.
It's got a lot of good, but it also has a ton of bad. That's the problem. I think there's a lot.
All three movies could have been better.
This one again could be remade
right
into something
there,
better.
And then something dropped them a couple of grades.
They can't remade. They're still making them, and they can't get it.
I like the actors in this, except for the main guy.
And he encompasses like 90% of the movie.
I know. There's some good in there. There's a good movie in there somewhere. I don't want to make excuses for it, but there is.
I don't think there is.
All right, Lewis, I don't want to hear his negativity anymore. Can you go?
All right.
I
was thinking you were going to go with C, and I was like, I can do one more, because I think I liked it a little bit more than you did.
Like, no, if you
but
give, if you give this a B,
I'm going to go with A+. A+.
out. I quit.
I almost made you spit up your coffee.
This podcast is a dumpster fire. I'm out.
If it's an A+ to Lewis, then that's what it is, man.
That's it. You know,
I couldn't. I thought he was going to give it a C, and I was going to go 1 up, but I can't go that high. Really, C+. I'm going to have to go with C+ as well because I can't quite make it into the B's.
I think we know what I'm going with.
What are you
He's
going?
going to give it an A. You know this already.
Well, yeah.
It was the only movie this week.
How do you feel about?
All right.
Well, yeah. Give us
Again,
an explanation of your review.
I thought only really it was the acting. You say some other stuff, but I think that was just a result of its time. I thought it was just bad acting. I thought the story was actually good. If you can follow along, like an intelligent human being.
Well, we all know. There's some struggle there.
I thought the storyline was there.
If you like this movie,
Tweet this movie.
If you have
Fix
IQ
the
less than
CGI.
100, you probably like this movie.
Tweet the movie. Fix the CGI. Fix the acting.
Yeah, replace the
It was
cast, director,
perfectly good
writer. Yeah. Leave the waterfall jumping scenes in.
You just don't like the writing because it was a woman, and you just that kind of person.
That's why you're a sexist.
You haven't
son of
liked a
bitch.
single woman.
There's a reason she didn't do anything but this, because she was not good.
What? Because she's a woman? Is that what you're saying?
I would never say such a thing.
That's what I heard.
That's what the microphone heard.
No, because this movie sucked.
You heard that microphone? Is
All-
it turned on?
All 200 of our listeners.
Yeah. 200.
Well, we had 200 listens. It's probably the same people over and over again.
Yeah, it's just me and Jared. We listen to it on repeat all day.
No, I'm giving it a C+, and I want
I'm gonna give this our very first F.
F+?
it.
No, it's a solid F.
Give it a D-.
It's an F+. I give it F+. Because it was awful. This movie sucked.
Explain.
It was boring. Story sucked. Acting sucked. Everything sucked. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. Anyone out there, please don't watch this movie. I just hope it gets taken off of Amazon Prime. I would cancel my Amazon Prime if this is on there next year. So, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
It's not
We're
bad.
going to talk about it, and you're going to sit here and listen to us talk about it.
Let's dive in about how terrible
We
this
still have
movie
to
is.
get into spoilers.
Oh, great. I got a few things to talk about.
All right, we're just going to let you go first
right.
on the spoilers.
Well, all right. Well, let's get into spoilers on our
Overview.
Yeah.
Overall ranking, what do you get us? D?
Oh well, overall ranking. If you give it an F and we give it C pluses, I'll go D+ on it. I'll go D. I'll go D. D's fair. I can see why you would give this movie a D. F is not fair.
Oh, it's very fair.
It's not fair.
Yeah. That's what the F stands for. Fair.
F you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that I guess wraps up the movies this week. We had Nemesis get a D. We had Split Second get a C, and FX get a C, I believe.
CCD.
So, CCD. So not our finest hour this week.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next week.
Next week, yeah, we will have to do a little bit better. Hopefully, we'll have some. Better stuff
it can't be worse.
It can be worse.
There's a difference. This wasn't an intentionally bad movie. Like, it wasn't a bad movie that you could enjoy because it was so bad. Like, it wasn't Troll 2. Like, you watch Troll 2, you know it's a bad movie, but it's fun.
What was that movie? I keep thinking about it every time he's talking about doing movies, bad episodes on purpose.
The Room?
No, the movie on Red Letter Media with the ninjas.
Yeah, Miami Connection.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's best. I recommend it to everybody I know.
I've never seen it.
And I don't tell them that it's a bad movie. I just say, dude, you gotta check this out. It's awesome.
Miami Connection, man.
So everybody go on and watch
got like a
Miami
video
Connection.
game cover and everything.
Is it streaming anywhere? Can I watch
Yeah,
it?
I saw it
It's
somewhere
on
recently.
Tubi, I want to say, and
nice.
Amazon Prime.
I'm going to add it.
You need to watch. You really need to.
I've never seen it.
I guarantee it's actually better than every movie we recommended this week. As far
Of course it is.
as far as entertainment factor.
Oh yeah. There's you can have a really bad movie and be entertaining.
It's amazing. But I guess that'll wrap up our non-spoiler portion for this week.
It took them 6 months to put me back together. Synthetic flesh, bioengineered organs.
It always scared me that they might take out my soul.
Right, spoilers. Spoilers for Nemesis. Corey, do you want to start us off there? Since I know you really enjoyed it so much. You really enjoyed this one, so we'll let you go. We'll start the spoilers with you.
I'd like to spoil it by telling people don't watch this movie.
That's not a spoiler. That's not what we're doing here.
Don't waste your time. If you want to have, I'd rather just like lay in traffic than watch this movie.
If you don't like this movie, what did you watch in the 80s and 90s?
Well, he was 30 years old when this movie came out.
So he was watching Matlock.
No, I was watching. Don't you dare to say anything about Andy Griffith.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. I'm just saying that's what you were watching.
Watch Matlock all the time, man.
So I want to talk about one scene in this where are they the LAPD? Is that who's chasing him?
You don't ever know anything. They don't explain anything.
No, they're higher up in the government.
I don't know what agency they are.
He was a cop, but his boss was like governor or something like that. They're like at least statewide, you know.
I guess. So whenever they track him down to, I guess, the spot where he meets the cyborg.
Is that White Teeth? White Gums?
No, not. Oh, the White Gums thing was bad.
God, that was awful.
Yeah, that was. They should have reshot
White Gums. Like that was just like, who did that? Why?
It was. Oh, I think back in the day they would only have so much film to shoot, and they probably didn't have enough film.
She should have just not smiled.
Everything was one take.
It was it was clearly one take.
So there's this one part. What was that in the beginning?
It was it's very early in the movie.
Where I guess is it Jared who's smiling? Is it her in the movie? No, it's somebody else, and she obviously has.
She dies right after.
What would you call that? A mouthpiece?
A veneer?
Yeah,
a veneer. Horrible veneers.
She's got some dentures in for sure, and it's bad.
Yeah, and they're not
like she would have been better off just having like one tooth.
And the shot. Obviously, she smiles a little too much, and you can basically see.
And it's just like her gums are solid white.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Yeah, it was an awful start. I was like, this movie's gonna be such awful.
But like they would only buy like these low budget movies. They would only have a certain amount of film to shoot, so
film's expensive.
It was probably just they couldn't. They're like, yeah, we can't, or they just didn't care.
Probably a combination.
Probably a combination of both.
Because she was walking around set smiling, and people were just like
cringing a little bit.
Oh, it's gonna look bad.
And they probably put that in there because she had like a little chip or on a tooth or something.
Oh no, I bet you it was awful underneath that.
Oh god,
that
she had no teeth. She a
lot of meth, probably.
Don't do meth, kids.
But the part I was talking about was there's a part where he meets the first cyborg, I think, and she gives him the information to get to Jared, or she gives him Jared's brain on a flash drive or something.
Yeah.
And he escapes out of that hotel by shooting a circle in the ground and falling through like Underworld.
Yeah.
Stolen by Underworld. Yeah. So I don't know if that was
that was a solid idea.
Yeah. This was about 7 years before that came out.
Well, maybe being full cyborg, he's a lot heavier than a human. So
but I thought that was
bullet holes would help him fall harder.
I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that Underworld probably stole that from this movie.
Probably somebody watched this movie. So that's a neat idea.
It's just an awful movie. Nobody will see that.
It was the only probably part worth stealing.
We'll just take it. One part I did think was funny also is when they're, I guess towards the end when they're in their city that looks like ruins, but there's people like living in it. I don't really understand that.
They were in Hawaii. They were all living in like shacks.
Yeah. But they're like in like rubble.
Yeah. There was like a metal building, and it was like just like literally just shacks made of like a metal siding.
Well, they were all kind of in hiding, so they're trying to find abandoned areas.
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Are you justifying it? I think you're.
But there's a part where a cyborg is trying to get information out of this old lady. I'll let you take this one.
He says something to her, and she realizes he's a cyborg. She turns around when he's not looking and just
pulls out a pistol out of her little old lady purse.
Yeah, she's got a pistol bigger than my entire forearm, and starts shooting him. And the main actor, is just around the corner looking because he's trying to get out of there, and
he chuckles a little bit.
He starts laughing a little because it's like, because he knows how much regular humans hate cyborgs, but it's just hilarious when an old lady takes to fighting, like, and she walks away from the scene cursing cyborgs.
She's like, "Goddamn cyborg!"
like an old lady or an old man would curse out little children on their lawn, like.
And she just kills the cyborg, shoots him like 6 times, takes him out on the street, and just gingerly walks off.
Yeah, she goes pick up her cane. She goes back to pick up her cane because she could barely walk.
Yeah, that was funny. I liked that. I liked that scene. To me, again, like my movie, the worst part of this one was the ending. I thought it was I thought it could have been saved with a really cool action scene, because up to that point they had done some pretty cool stuff with the gun.
Just went a little too hard on bad CGI.
Yeah, Tim Thomerson, Farnsworth is just literally shooting, I guess, a futuristic gun, and it's just they're running away from it, and explosions are happening behind them as they're running.
Oh yeah, when they shoot the water and it looks like somebody dropped a grenade in there. Yeah. The splash is so big, and I'm like, bullets kind of just go through the water.
Yeah,
they dive.
That to me was the worst part. I really wish they would have did something better with that last action scene, the last chase.
But I noticed that a lot in that era. If any movie they made, any action movie they made that was set in the future, guns exploded everything. Could have been a little tiny pistol, bullets exploded, and for no reason.
I would have just liked to see him in a shootout with multiple people. They could have did that.
Yeah, instead it was just the one guy.
Yeah, it was just the one guy just shooting this weird shotgun at him, making stuff blow up around him. It's kind of, I didn't appreciate that.
I get practice.
Tim Thomerson, I will probably do Trancers for an episode in the future when we do another action movie episode. But there's really not anything to spoil in this because
I guess you could talk about.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a
why
to do that.
Why his girl Jared defected.
Did this movie have more or less plot than Rampage?
More what?
Plot.
Yeah, it had a lot more plot.
It had a lot more plot? Yeah. Okay.
I guess you could talk about, you could spoil why
it had Jared a lot written. It had a lot written, but it was poorly delivered by all of the actors, or the main actor. But I mean, and you wanted to talk about CG at the end.
Yeah, the robot. It was so bad.
You didn't think it was really? You didn't think it was on par with Terminator 2? You didn't think it was?
It was actually
Terminator.
It might have been a little lower budget, but it was.
Terminator 2 came out a year before this. You don't think it was on par with Terminator 2?
I just want to hit you in the face right now. It's
pretty much.
It was so. We were cracking up. That was probably the best part of the movie. Was that little CGI?
I mean, that was
It was real bad, but they just kept showing it too. It was awesome.
I think it's probably this movie's just as good as Terminator 2.
No, I can't hold the pencil out. I love that you're trying to piss Corey off more, but I couldn't do it.
That's just obvious trolling over here. I'm not taking that bait. Nope. The billions of dollars in revenues as otherwise.
But it would be a fun experiment to see if the sequels are better.
No.
There's enough for all of us to do a sequel.
We have different ideas.
Do his own.
Well, the Terminator sequels.
I mean, if the
versus
sequels...
the Nemesis sequels.
Oh, Jesus.
Be a good comparison.
Yeah, because Terminator. Did anybody watch the new Terminator?
I haven't watched.
We compare this movie to Terminator 1, the next one to Terminator 2. See how many of each one wins.
Yeah.
Are the sequels like 30 minutes long? Because I'll sign up for that. If it's like a good 22-minute episode,
he's just gonna stop watching our movies, isn't he?
I'm just gonna get
all my. So we're in the review portion.
I'm just gonna steal all my information from Wikipedia. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna read.
Anything else we want to say about Nemesis?
I would rather not.
I'd love to talk more about it.
I mean, do you have more to talk about?
He's just upset because there was more female nudity than there was male nudity.
There was. Like, she's, like, dying, and, like, she's getting shot up and everything, and they still pan down to her. And, like, she's, like, only half of a body, but they still managed to sneak a boob in.
Yeah, cut off at the waist and...
Cut off at the waist. Yeah, let's still keep your boob inside.
Well, yeah, you gotta keep it in frame.
Yeah.
We paid you $20,000 to take him out. We got to get every bit of the.
We're getting our money's worth there.
Yeah, I think there's a good movie in there somewhere. It just it's kind of buried.
Yeah, you just have to get rid of 95% of it, maybe. You take everything out and make a cyborg movie. Maybe there's something good there.
There's good
so we got Terminator.
The Terminator's not a cyborg. He was never human.
Whatever, man.
All right. Well, I guess that'll wrap up this week's episode.
Woo! This was a rough one, guys.
All right, Corey, you want to plug social media for us?
All right, guys. You can reach out to us on Facebook at Highly Caffeinated Movies, Twitter at HC Movies Podcast, and our email is highlycaffeinatedmovies@gmail.com. Appreciate any critiques, reviews, recommendations, anything positive or negative feedback. We're fine with that. We're not going to be offended by it. We would like to know.
And thanks as always for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week.